we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion. Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Happy holidays, everybody. Coming from Discussion Combustion, we really do wish the absolute best time for you during this holiday season. And we are just so honored this year to have shared so much time with everybody out there, and so honored to have all the support that we've had as well. So we feel like we've been given gifts all year long, and this year Discussion Combustion wanted to give back a little bit.
Yeah, we sure did, man. It's been a tough year for a lot of people, and it's been a great year being able to spend a little bit of time with you guys. You know, you bring us into your living rooms, into your cars, into your earbuds each week, and it's cool that we get to be a part of your lives, and you get to be a part of ours, and it means a lot. So we were able to help a family this year.
Absolutely.
And that's terrific. Like we said in the Thanksgiving special with Dustin and Jamie, that's what we decided to do. Those guys, came up with the idea. We stuck with it. We helped the family this Christmas. So
we're sending a meal their way. It'll be their Christmas Eve. And thank you everybody for sending stuff in. And we really do wish the best for everybody out there. Another gift that came out this holiday season is a brand new product from our sponsors, Made CBD. That's the Combat. This is vitamins with CBD. You got vitamin A, vitamin D3, vitamin E, 15. Oh, that's 15 milligrams. And then vitamin C. And you also got zinc, which is great for avoiding flus and colds. And then, of course, you got your CBD in there as well. We're very, very excited about that. Also, the dog product is out as well, CBD for your furry friends, and a new recover line with chamomile. Yeah, I got a little brain fart there. Arthur moment.
Yeah, hey, look, we had an addition to the table. That's pretty exciting. It just keeps getting a little bit larger, and that's what Mountain Made's about, is expanding their product line, taking your feedback. That's what they do. They've done it with the Recover. The Combat just hit. They got the dog product. That's going to be hitting the table here real soon. You got CBD for your furry friends, CBD you need to succeed, build, boost, recover, puff, workout programs, Combat, ready to rip, tater chip, going like hell.
Auto ship, auto pay, auto discount. And also, if you are a dispensary out there, if you would like CBD on your shelves, that's something you're interested in, definitely check out Mountain Made. They are set up for that. And that's hashtag Go Like Hell.
Go like hell, baby. And Discussion Combustion is also brought to you by the almighty Jolly, the very merry Wild Outdoor Adventures. And that's WOAMEET.com.
Now go ahead, sign onto your computer. Go ahead, type in that web address. Go ahead and create a profile. No charge on that. What you can do with that, you can see everything that's happening, all the events upcoming. You could even start a conversation if you have questions about, activities that you would like to get involved in. And if you're a veteran, they have Hope for Vets, Hope for Teens. So they have a lot of niche specific things as well. It's a place to build friendships and build memories. And it's a wonderful online. The website's great to use, and then also the outdoor events that they partake in are fantastic.
Oh yeah, they do a great job organizing a community, getting you guys involved. You can maybe you're not in a position to hit the trails. Well, you know what? You can live vicariously through their YouTube channel or some of their social medias. They're posting these hikes. You feel like you're a part of it. You can still blog with these guys, talk about what outdoor equipment you like, what's the best gun to buy right now. Anything that happens in the outdoor world, these guys are involved in some way, shape, or fashion. So if you are an outdoor company, you produce a product, if you produce some gear, and you want to partner up with these guys, they're offering discounts for their users.
That's a win-win for everybody. That's a win for both sides of the businesses and the consumer. So win-win-win. And that's how we want to bring in the new year. And we're just very excited to have them on our table. And Kevin, if you're listening, you got a great thing there that brings people together, and I think you're accomplishing what you're setting out to do. And that's less dreaming and more exploring.
That's a whole lot of exploring, my friend. And let's jump into this thing, man. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, happy holidays. My wonderful girlfriend, she did give me this Jolly Santa mug.
That's pretty jolly. That's a lot of joy right there.
And it's joyful because we got a little sauce in it.
Oh, yeah. You got that.
This ain't hot chocolate.
That's a barley pop right there, which is mostly water, so we are.
Barley pop?
Yeah, it's a barley pop. Trying to stay a little hydrated, a little bit of a grainy soda, something like that. We like to have a couple on air. We're going to celebrate with you guys. It's Christmas time. It's been a tough year. And we're trying to spread a little cheer.
It's a little cheer, and you know what? We're just going to do some reflecting. We're going to talk a little bit about holiday movies. I got some fun would you rather's. It's the time of the year where, where we can take, because it's been tough for everybody. I mean, there's been tough times for everybody, and it's just important to give yourself a break. And I challenge everybody to do that this holiday season, regardless of what you have on your table, what you need to accomplish, the things that are eating at you, whatever it is. Just challenge yourself to forgive yourself, to accept the fact that you can overcome. Challenge yourself to let it go, just at least for a little time. You guys have all earned it this year.
Absolutely. It's been a challenging year for most. A lot of people have been without a paycheck, without a job, illnesses. There's been a lot going on this year, and, it's the end of the year, and this is the time where everyone kind of, unwinds and eats too much and has a little bit to drink and spends time with family, because that's what it's about. It's friends and family make you the richest man. That's one of the most important things to me, and I'm sure a lot of others. Family. And, not everybody is fortunate enough to be in that position to do that this year. I understand that. Obviously, there's some CDC guidelines that are going to restrict people. People are in hospitals. So it's tough to have visitors and stuff this holiday season. But there's plenty of joy and cheer to be had this holiday season. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always some positivity in the world. And I think that's what we need to be focusing on this holiday season. It's been a very divisive year. It's been an aggressive year with COVID and political stuff. Let's let all that go and start the new year right.
Absolutely. There's always going to be a positive outlook on something and a negative outlook on something, and they're both consistent. They're both always there, both outlooks. And so, what do you even consider to be a problem? Like, people might think things are problems that I don't think is a problem, or I might think that, oh man, this is an issue. And somebody's like, you know what, that's really not an issue. Like, that's not a problem. So it's okay to just, we all have to go through the struggle, man. That's part of life. Problems are part of life, and I've accepted that. And just try to change your mentality, make a shift. Try to have a focus, and tell yourself, I'm conscious. I'm smart. I can think. And it's silly but to remind yourself of that is going to give you power and be like, I have a choice. How do I want to let something affect me, or do I want to, like, do it my way and not be affected? Do I want to be proactive with this or not? And, a lot of things don't have to be problems. A lot of things can just be part of life, and that's part of life. It all depends on how you look at it.
The mindset really is. It changes the game. There's a lot of scenarios, something I struggle with, I'm getting better at. Look, I'll be real honest with you guys right now. We had a complete technical failure once again when we shot the Christmas special, a couple days ago, and we decided to come back, reset, refresh, and I was extremely angry. It got the best of me. It's a stressful time, and it overwhelmed me. And, Jocko Willink, I ended up sending this clip to you.
Yeah, and we talked about that with Alec.
Yeah, we did. In that mindset, though, it's hard to do in the moment. I'm trying to get better at it. But, if you have a problem, good. More time to get better. Focus on what that is. How are we going to overcome this? Problems are opportunities to get better. And, things pan out for a reason. And it's tough to maintain such a positive morale all the time. It's just not going to be the case, for me. But I'm getting better at it. And changing that mindset, like you were saying, is a big start.
Yeah, just with the knowledge, knowing that, you always have both options. You have the choice. They're both there. So try to take the high road, man. Don't say anything negative about anybody out loud. Like, just keep all that to yourself. It's little things, and then I'm always practicing on this too. Nobody is perfect in any way, and it's just good to remind ourselves of this stuff, and especially this time of the year. Maybe somebody that hasn't heard this program that could use that sentence. Like, they need to hear that, and maybe you can help them. I suggest this holiday season, actually picking up the phone and making a call. Actually try to get somebody on the phone. And I've had those awkward talks where it's like with an aunt that lives in another state that I've never seen my entire life growing up, and you kind of talk to them, and it's a little like, pulling teeth kind of, but at the same time, just reaching out and to say hi, it has a domino effect,
It does. It really does. And it means a lot. John X said it best when he was on our show a couple months ago. You know, he said, scroll to the bottom of your phone and text that person. I did that. I had a tremendous conversation. We caught up, you know, made them feel good. It made me feel good. You know, we have the availability to stay in, you know, contact with people. You have to use Skype, FaceTime, you know, Zoom. There's so many ways you can do it now if you don't have the opportunity to see them in person. Obviously, that's probably what a lot of people are going to do this holiday season, but it goes a long way. You know, reach out to that old friend or that cousin of yours you hadn't talked to in years. I, in fact, just did that the other day. Reached out to my cousin, you know, hadn't talked to him in years. And it's a good feeling. You know, it's a, again, tough year. We're ending on a positive note. We're, you know, Christmas joy, what the spirit of Christmas is, right? Being merry, reconnecting with people. Great opportunity to do it, guys.
It really is. I'm thankful for so many things this year. 2020 has been a huge growing year for me. You know, I was in the dredges, man. I put myself in a tough position with abuse issues and ignoring bills and having my credit go down and being vehicleless. Like, I had a repo and didn't have a ride for a long time. And, you know, I was kind of struggling, man. And I had enough. And it was just, it hit that point with me where I was just like, you know, I'm sick of not having enough to provide. You know, I'm sick of being concerned about when my next rent check's, like, how am I going to make that next rent check? You know, how am I going to get to work? Like, if it wasn't for my girl, Meredith, like, allowing me to use her vehicle and helping me, like, dude, I would have been in a really rough spot. So big shout out to my beautiful girlfriend for that. But yeah, man, I had enough, and I had an opportunity to go work for a company, and I knew I was going to take it. I was like, you know what, I need to make this change. I need to get back to a regular lifestyle and a responsible lifestyle, because I had moved away from responsibility. And 2020 was a huge year for me for that. Paid down a lot of debts. I really, you know, got control of the whole drug thing in a way that I never had before, to where I don't care about it as much, man. Like, you know, I don't think about it like I used to. And I don't know. I'm tearing up and getting emotional because it's coming to a close. You know, 2020 is coming to a close, and it was, I feel blessed right now, man. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a wild year for sure for a lot of people, and for you, you know, it was kind of realigning, hitting that reset button, realigning, and digging down and owning it. You know, figuring out what kind of changes you wanted to make, because that's the thing. Like with me, with my anger struggles, you know, I consciously want to change. I don't want to be that guy that flies off the handle and is throwing stuff off the table.
It's not fun.
Something didn't go my way, like a 4-year-old. I mean, I'm 32 years old. It's time to fucking grow up.
No temper tantrums here.
And I have temper tantrums sometimes, guys. You know, I do. And I've dealt with it for many years. I get better, but it's still, and then I have that remorseful period the next day. Like, really, that's what you're upset about? And, you know, Alec, when he was here last week, said it best. He's like, man, is what you're mad about really going to matter a week from now? Yeah. And the answer to that question is no, it isn't. It's
really not. And so, you know, it's not easy to change the regular, your normal routine. You know, we get complacent, and I'm guilty of that, you know, but once I decided, you know, once I had that choice, and I like really wanted to make that decision, I was comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was now comfortable dealing with something that I'm not used to. Like let's really break out the box here. Like if things aren't going right, if you're not happy, like if you're not feeling good, you're not feeling fulfilled, you need to be honest with yourself, like, and be critical with yourself about why don't you feel good? You know, why aren't you feeling fulfilled?
And it's a hard thing to do, man. It really is. I know that's the biggest struggle with addiction, you know, alcoholism, with whatever you're struggling with, to look at it in a perspective of, I'm recognizing that this is an area in my life that I need to get better at, make a change in, because it's easy to become complacent and just get up when your alarm goes off, go to work, make things, you know, and you get stuck in this routine, which is fine. I mean, if you're happy and you like your life, that's great. But it's easy to ignore some of the dark areas when you get complacent like that. You know, so to recognize something and to want to change that about yourself says a lot about who you are as a person, right? It shows that you're willing to innovate and compromise, work on yourself. You know, I know at some point I'm going to have to get a grip on how much I drink. I know this is an issue. We do Sober October. You know, we're tossing around the dry January idea.
I'm definitely doing that.
Yeah, I know you're doing it. I'm still on the fence if I want to do it or not.
On that.
I probably should.
I mean, what does it hurt? You know, I'm doing it for me. You know, I put on a lot of weight this year, and I still feel sexy, but like I can see I put on weight.
I feel pretty sexy in the sweater, bro.
You're looking good in that sweater, man.
My Rudolph nose fell off though.
Well, that's okay. It was that beer belly.
Yeah, just shot right off there, man. It's that 2020. I'm out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just I forgot what we were talking about. You know, easy distractions, but you know, life is just so it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm on a soapbox today for some reason. It's probably because like we've done a lot this year, and you know, we don't normally talk about the podcast on here, but we just finished recording an episode with John on John of All Trades podcast here in Denver as well.
Which will be out when you guys are hearing this.
Yeah, and so you know, we got nominated for some awards for best sound, best host, best guest, best fans, and best overall in Colorado, and we got nominated for all those categories. We didn't take any of them, but just to even be in that realm of talent and you know, I'm just feeling really fulfilled with all this, man, and I'm grateful for all the listeners and people that help participate and are part of our community, because we truly want this. You know, we want y'all to feel like you're part of it. You know, we care. You know, I'll cry on camera. You know, I'd say some real shit, man, and it's because we're not buttoned up here. You know, we're drinking beers with boys and being real, man. And it feels good to do this. It just does.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surreal time. You know, it's been such a grind and go year all year long. The fact we were even considered at House of Pod put on a tremendous event for their second annual Colorado Podcast Awards, and we were considered for 4 of those. What a great honor! Just a great honor that our listeners, you know, care that much and are that actively engaged in, you know, sometimes this buffoonery that we have here at DCPC. To even consider us in that category it touched my heart for sure. You know, the support with the DCPC family is amazing, and some of the best listeners in the game are you guys tuning in each and every week, listening to us, and the friendships we've made, the people that we're going to have coming through. 2021 is going to be no different.
It's going to be a great year. We're going to keep it coming. CCQ, baby. So what kind of movies I mean, everyone has the movie list for the holiday season. What is your top?
Man,
what's your top holiday movie?
I'll have to thank my girlfriend, because she got me back into like the whole Christmas. You know, I kind of lost touch with it for a number of years. Being a single man, just not a top priority. I mean, you saw my Christmas tree at Quincy Ridge. It had beer cans on it. Yeah. You know, I was still festive, but it was kind of redneck festive, which is who I am. But my favorite Christmas movie, hands down, goes back to the early 90s when I was young, Home Alone. It's my favorite one. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. Christmas Story, which plays for 24 hours on TNT or whatever it is every year. You'll shoot your eye out, you know, classic.
There's a lot of ones too that like I don't know the names of that are just fun, wholesome to watch. But I mean, yeah, we grew up with Home Alone, so you know that has to be one of the classics. I like the first one more than the second one.
Agreed.
Elf is a great movie too. Like that one's just done really well.
Will Ferrell.
And it's like timeless. You know, a lot of these movies are timeless, and it's nice, you know, because we get cozy. Like on my house, I got we got like the garland and like lights in it, and we have this arch that's all covered in lights, and we have the Christmas tree, and so it's really festive in there. And we just have all the festive lights on, and super cozy at night. And we just, you know, cozy up and have some red wine. We've been going bottles instead of boxes. Once you go bottled, you don't go boxed.
Well, I mean, that's just that quality difference. You know, some people prefer bottled beer over canned beer. I'm a canned beer guy myself, but you know, getting that festive spirit, man. It was my girlfriend's house. We Clark Griswold that thing up.
Yeah,
we were on the ladder hanging lights. You know, she did tinsel this year on the tree, which is extremely sparkly and can be pretty messy. Blue and white lights, so the tree is very vibrant.
Oh, I like that color scheme. I like the blue scheme a lot.
Yeah, but just a little bit of blue. Like you have your regular, you know, your regular white lights all through the tree, and then just 1 or 2 strains of blue.
It's a little accent.
It throws off a real vibrant, pretty color.
And that's at her place?
That's at her place.
That would be fun to check out.
I got some snowmen on my mantle.
You got pictures, right?
Yeah, I got some pictures.
Yeah, you should show me that once we're done with this. But if you had to choose, all right, would you rather, all right, you have a house, let's say. Are you decorating the outside of your house with lights, or are you doing the inside? You can only do one.
Yeah, I think I have to go. I mean, it could be contingent year to year maybe, but I think it would make the most sense to do the inside, because then you can wake up to the smell of a fresh Christmas tree if that's what you decide to do.
I mean, could you just do a tree? Is that considered decorating? Like,
tree's decorating.
What if you just did a tree, no lights?
I mean, that's still decorating.
Yeah,
because you're putting
still
in
decorating.
you're putting in an annual staple into what Christmas is as a tree in your house. That would be a decoration. I mean, a pumpkin's technically a decoration.
True.
So I think you have to go indoors. You don't have to, but I'm going to go indoors because I mean I keep it real simple. Like you saw, I got my little snowman on my mantle. That's my festive indoor decoration.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to go wild though. They really like decorating outdoors with the blow up snowman and the Santas and sleighs. That's fun too.
Yeah. So. I want to read this verbatim,
Okay.
because this was just a really sweet thing that when I was leaving today to come to the studio, I walked out and there was a little note that was left.
Oh, let's take a look.
A little note that was left out there, and it said, "Thank you for your Christmas lights. You have given me so many smiles. Walter," and then in parentheses, 3 years old, -joy. So #joy.
Wow, thanks, Walter.
Yeah, and so somebody just went around Congress Park and was like leaving these, and I gave it to my girlfriend and it made her day. Like, so that's really sweet. And you know, when I thought about the question, I hadn't received that, and so there's something about decorating the outside of the house.
Yeah.
It gives the people, it brings joy. So it's a tough one because you know you kind of want you want to participate in that joy and spirit. So I don't know, man. I'm still the cave dweller though, so I'm going inside.
I'm going inside as well.
As good as it is to give that to others, like I want that comfy couch time.
I can see why people would choose the outdoors though, because of reasons like that. I mean,
that was awesome. Whichever parent is doing that is like,
that's pretty cool.
They're trying to pull on people's tear ducts,
and it's working.
Yeah,
it's working. And that's what Chris is about, man. It's about joy and cheer.
It is.
We're a little festive here in the studio, guys. You know, we got the lights and we're having some fun. I got my sweater, my hat. You looking good?
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to get in the Christmas spirit. This is the most Christmas spirit I've had in a long time.
Did you have fun buying gifts this year?
I always have fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I will say I didn't go as overboard as I normally do, and that's, you know, finances are a little bit tight.
Yeah.
You know, I got priorities and things I got to take care of, but you know, it shouldn't be about the price tag on the gift.
No, but it was the experience, like having fun doing it.
Oh yeah, of course. I love it, you know, and yeah, it's not quantity, it's quality.
Yeah.
And quality doesn't have to be an expensive thing. You know, it could just be a nice warm message from like what you just received on your door about your lights. That's a Christmas gift.
It was. It was it literally said #joy.
That's tremendous.
Like the £, joy. And so they're giving it out. Like whoever did that, like hats off.
Now that's jolly.
Now that's
really jolly.
Now that's the merry spirit.
What's your favorite Christmas movie then? Because I took Home Alone. What do you?
I mean, I was kind of saying Elf. You know, I really do like Elf.
Is that your favorite?
Home Alone's one of the classics.
Love it.
I mean, there's just so many good ones, you know, that I have a hard time just saying one, but I guess that's the game.
Well, and then there's you know,
but the Grinch ones too are really good. I really like Jim Carrey's Grinch.
That was good.
I like the animated one too, the recently done one. I mean, it's the same story every time, but like, I think I like the Grinch story.
Grinch is pretty good.
That's one of my favorites.
The original one, you know, the old school cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, that's good. It's got the music
His
in
heart
it.
is like 20 size smaller.
Yeah.
Something like that. They say.
I think he's watching that in Home Alone. I think one of the opening scenes they're viewing that.
Probably.
But Christmas movies. So then there's you can circumvent the system with Die Hard, which I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I are going to watch that tonight.
That's like your alternative, your alt Christmas movie.
But and then what is it? Is it Gremlins? Gremlins is also a Christmas movie, but it's like, is it Halloween? Is it Christmas?
It's just happening during the season.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's a good concept. It's a good time to shoot stuff because it's fun with all the props and lights and everything. And yeah, it's so much fun. And you know, for a period of time in my life too, I feel like I kind of fell out of the Christmas spirit too, where I just didn't care as much. Like I wasn't giving gifts, you know, annually. But you know, I gotta say, my girl, she is one of the most this is her favorite time of the year. She loves to give, and she's helped spark some Christmas joy in me, you know, and it's you know, it's cheesy, it's tacky kind of, you know, that used to be my old stance and I still see that, but I'm okay being a little cheesy and tacky because, you know, it's wholesome.
I got into it a little bit this year, you know, mainly, you know, not, I wouldn't say for my girlfriend because I don't do things I don't want to do. But what's funny about that? I'm saying I'm not being fake with it. I genuinely did. She got me in the spirit. I mean,
That's funny.
To see the look on her face when we pulled the Christmas tree out and we set it up,
Yeah.
and then as she unpacked each individual ornament, she was so excited.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, okay, I can get into this. You know, this is fun. It's just spreading some cheer and some joy. It's vibrant. You know, brightens up the mood. It's been a terrible year, so you know, if we can brighten it up, let's do it.
I know, right? Like, I know I said this, you know, in past episodes, but yeah, this year, throw up the lights super early, keep them out super long. Because honestly, you know, we're going to go into 2021. And it's going to be the same for a while. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's not just going to change.
No, there's light at the end of the tunnel, of course, but there's always going to be more obstacles in that tunnel, and it's how we're gonna tackle those suckers, man.
Yeah. How are you going to handle the problems? You know, when you are down, when you are like having your hardest time, that's when you prove yourself. You know, like when it's easy, man, you don't see your character then. You know, but when you are up against the wall, you have tough decisions to make, you have needs that need to be met and sacrifices that need to be made. That's when you figure out what your character is, you know? Like I'm riding this bike right now, and I decided, like, you know, once we get it, I'm going on it. Like I'm gonna just make a change.
You've been owning it.
And yeah, 6 days straight now. This morning, like, we had a little award ceremony last night. I got a little, you know, we had fun. We tied a knot.
We had a few too many.
And I was feeling a little rough this morning, but I knew I had to get up and get these shows going and stuff. And I was about to just start playing Cyberpunk 2077 and just chill. And then I was like looking at the stationary bike, and I was like, I know I'm gonna drink today, and then I know I'm gonna not want to do it at all. So I was feeling a little hungover, and I just, you know, I pushed myself, man. I was like, I'm doing it right now. And actually, today, dude, was one of my strongest days on it. Like, I really pushed myself, and it was like, you know, I got a little alert, like, oh, new bar set for best workout. And I was like, feeling really good about that, man. But that's the thing is, like, you have to, like, challenge yourself, and you have to change something. You have to break the cycle. You know, if you're not happy with how your body looks, if you're not happy with your mentality, pinpoint the problem and attack that motherfucker. You know, let's get this.
Yeah, you know, and people typically like to hit the reset button around the new year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but just because it's a fresh start, you know, everyone's been eating through the holidays. But really, 2020, everyone's been doing a lot of eating. I mean, my DoorDash, I don't even want to look at. I'm glad they don't offer like the number of how much money I've spent on DoorDash.
Yeah.
I could go through and add it up. I don't want to do that.
Was you like $5,000 or something?
Well, I don't know about that much, but it's possible.
But
I mean, anything's possible. I don't know if it's quite that much, but man, the convenience of it is just, it's made it so easy.
I know, but it takes, so if you're going that route, like, you have to be a pre-planner, because I'm getting hungry and stuff, and like, it's gonna take like an hour and a half. Sometimes in Denver, bro, it depends on
what you're ordering.
Yeah, it gets really busy. So I just really try to get to the point now where, like, let's defeat the lazy mentality and just call it in for a pickup. I'll get it in half the time. I'll save $12 or whatever.
Yeah, that's something that my girlfriend's way better at than I am. Like, I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to get off the couch. I don't want to have to put pants on.
Yeah.
You know, let's just have this thing sent. And I got the Dash Pass, so I don't pay for delivery or service fee, but I got to tip the driver. So I'm basically paying for the price of food plus the tip. Sometimes it's worth it to me, but I am starting to notice it's becoming probably not a great habit, you know, because I've settled into the convenience of it.
And it's super expensive, man. It adds up. Like, when you go to the grocery store, and, you know, everybody has heard this, but, you know, you spend $200 at the grocery store, and then you're eating for like a whole week, opposed to, like, you know, if you're eating, that's for two for you know, for my household. And you know, if we go out and have a meal or whatever, like, you're at least spending at least like $60 minimum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with like tip included or whatever. And so you add it up, man, that's like only, you know, 3 meals opposed to eating for a whole week.
Yeah.
And it's healthier to eat from home.
Oh, absolutely. It 100% is. I think for me, with my lifestyle, I mean, you kind of know how I do. I'm, you know, on the run all the time. You know, Monday, Tuesdays typically my nights to take her easy. We get the podcast stuff throughout the week, and then it's just like chaos all the way through the weekend. refresh, restart. So for me, being a single guy, it's easy to have those convenient options. But I try to avoid places that are, quick fast food, greasy ass grub. If I'm doing DoorDash, it's typically, Chipotle, Mod Pizza, Chili's, Applebee's, Saltgrass Steakhouse. If I'm doing that, it's going to be a little bit. I'm not DoorDashing McDonald's. I'll get in my car.
I have DoorDashed Taco Bell a couple times this year, and good times.
Okay.
I mean, I can't even eat McDonald's. That will make my stomach hurt.
My thing is, if they have a drive-through,
yeah,
I'm not DoorDashing it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
But see, I don't want to get out of my car, so then I'm like, ooh, Chili's, which they do bring it out to, I think. But I don't want to drive to Chili's because it's a lot further than you're close to Taco Bell or McDonald's. Dude, I'd probably DoorDash more Chili's than anything because I had baby back ribs.
Yeah.
I had a steak. I get the burgers. I'll get the pasta dishes, the chicken ranchero tacos. Fantastic.
This dude's, he's going to recite the whole menu.
I've had most of it.
I remember we used to go hang out at, when we were first meeting way back in the day, it was a TGIF over there.
Oh, I missed that place,
and
man. That was the hangout.
Yeah, we would go in there and get some drinks and shit.
Were you with us that time? I think it was you, me, and Craig. Craig Christopherson. He was on a couple weeks ago. I think it was the three of us when he drove over the median.
Yeah.
It was the three of us.
Yeah.
We should have talked about that when he was on.
Well,
that was hilarious.
Well, before he came on for that recording, we were in that Burger King parking lot with the liquor store that I hit up. And I was like, dude, remember when you drove over the median here? He was like, no, that was somewhere else. And I was like, no, you did it here too, bro. And like, yeah, dude, we used to... just like everybody went a little wild, and that's why I was crying earlier because I dug myself too deep of a hole, not giving a F.
Yeah.
But it feels really good to getting back to myself, and being happy with who I am, sober basically. I mean, I still, me and Bob Marley, bro, we're twist tied, we're real close. But, to get all that other stuff out of the mix, man, and not even think about it or, crave for it, it's crazy. It's crazy, how strong that stuff can be, or even booze. Booze
is bad,
I'm
too,
happy. Man. I mean, we're both drinking, but neither of us wake up to taking a shot. Like there's people out there like that need that.
Yeah, and that's a place I never want to be. I've talked about on this show many times the level of alcoholism that runs in my bloodstream. I've danced with the devil. We do Sober October, so I feel like that mentally gives me this pass. I'm like, oh, well, I take a month off of drinking, so I'm going to rage December, November, December. And that's not the point,
yeah.
Right? So dry January, I'm not going to commit to it on air because I don't know if I'm going to do it yet.
I'm doing it, man.
I like the idea of it. It's just so close to Sober October for me that then it's going to be, 9 months of epic drinking again.
No, but the thing is it's like before we went into Sober October, I wanted to, if I'm doing this, if we're doing this thing, how can I make sure that there's a long-term effect? Because the year before there was no long-term effect for me. It just turned right back around, and I didn't want that again, man. And I mean, I've still been drinking. But I've been drinking a little less than I used to. I really have been trying to put a cap on it because, health reasons. I want, I'm getting a high belly, which is not good for your heart and
it's a lot of stress on the heart.
And some things like that. So I've noticed that, and we're getting older. We're all gonna die one day. It'd be nice to have more days than less. And I want to feel good, how am I mean, I feel good right now, but how good am I going to feel when I lose 20 pounds?
Right.
So dry January to me is just kind of a promise that I made myself on fulfilling a commitment to Sober October. I didn't want it to stop there. And how Jeff, how he slipped up and then went hard the next month and kept it moving. I respect that. That's admirable.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, right? I mean, that's why we did the Sober October thing, was to make at least, make a change to try to better yourself. And it sounds like you're going to do that with dry January as well. Bringing in the new year without booze, it probably would be a good decision for me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I might.
But it's like most things. Until you're doing it for yourself, it's never going to happen.
Right.
You can't do things for other people. You can't do things for the podcast. It's never going to be true unless if you truly want it for yourself.
That's
and
true.
So I want this, man. I want to be the best me in my 30s, man, because I was ignorant for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was Superman, like we all have, and just thinking things don't affect me like they do, and not noticing the detriments, and so I feel good where I'm at right now, man. And I know I could get better, and I want to keep getting better.
It's a good mindset to be in. I mean, it's kind of how we opened up this app, just talking about little things we can do to better ourselves. And Christmas is a great time to reflect on the year, as we get ready to turn the calendar to a new one. And, man, it's feeling the jolly, merry times, I can feel the Christmas joy.
I'm feeling good. I got to get some stocking stuffers still and a card.
Last minute ideas. Yeah, the card. See, yeah, that's the other thing. That's one of those things. I'm like, oh shit, the card. That's
I know
the last thing.
I went and got everything and then I forgot the card.
Yep. Some stocking stuffers, and then I'm just about done. I guess this is going to drop before Christmas, so I won't say what I got the girls.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
We won't say what we got our girls or whatever. They're just going to have to find out on Christmas. But I think they're gonna like it. I'm sure.
Yeah, I did good. I just did so good last year. I was like, damn it, Arthur, you really set your own bar pretty high.
I did the same exact thing, dude. I went berserk last year.
Screwed myself.
Berserk. Like this year does not do what I did last year. So I'm with you.
Oh man, but it's it's about the thought. I think there's gonna be an extra present that I'm gonna do that I'll buy after Christmas. I'm gonna I don't know if she's gonna listen to this part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell her that I'm gonna buy her a nice office chair, and we'll go shop for that together.
So that's one of your Christmas gifts is we're gonna do this soon.
Yeah, and
coming soon.
Yeah, and I'll buy you a nice office chair, and that way we could pick it out together. And because we work from home now, and that's what's going to be the norm pretty much moving forward, I believe, with a lot of companies.
Do you think that you're going to be back in your office by summer 2021?
So I know 100% that the company I work for has decided that the work from home lifestyle is successful and it's beneficial for the company and the employees. So they will always have office spaces for people who need an office, a place to go to for training, for new hires. But as far as I know, we will always be able to work from home from here on out.
That's a game changer, and I think a lot of companies are going to adapt that exact same mindset. With the exception of people like me, boots in the ground in the grocery stores, trenches taking grenades, as I like to say.
Can't do that from home.
You can't do that from home. So you still until the robotic arms get put in place.
Well,
even then though,
yeah.
Because I've thought about that scenario. It's not feasible. I can see robotic.
Somebody would have to still load the robots.
Somebody would have to load the robots.
I mean, unless if everything was automated, but you could have a box robot that's just, the stuff's offloaded from the truck, it's scanned, and then a robot's pack it into a box robot that goes out there and then puts it on the shelves.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's possible that could happen in coming years. I think what's more going to become robotic, which big chains like Walmart and Kroger have already done, when they palletize the product, it's robotic. The way they move the pallets around, the way that they're shrink wrapped, that's already done that way. But to physically unpack, because the AI would have to learn how to open each individual case and place it in the exact location it needs to go without knocking other shit off. There's a lot. There would be a lot.
Also lining it up where it needs to look, perfect.
But I mean, artificial intelligence, we've seen what it's capable of. We've seen how far it's come. I mean, look what Boston Dynamics is doing. It's just incredible.
It is pretty crazy. I mean, to see the leaps that we've seen in our lifetime, and praying to God, hopefully I got a lot more to go. I'm excited to see where we go, but it's concerning though too, because the carbon output and how much we burn through our annual resource limit, and the world as a whole burns through it within 10 months, and then so there's 2 months out of the year where it's all pulled from other areas that technically shouldn't have been touched until the next year. So it's just kind of concerning where humanity is going. Global warming, I believe, is a natural occurring thing, and we've definitely contributed to speeding that process up. So by the time I'm an old and gray, who knows, man, the condition of the planet, we're sucking it dry. And I'll say it again. Watch Kiss the Ground on Netflix. I feel like that documentary is very eye opening, especially if you're a farmer. If you're a farmer out there, please watch Kiss the Ground, because there's different ways to do things that will benefit people to come. Do we want humanity to keep living on beyond the next 100 years? Can we do that?
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I'll probably look at it with a skeptical eye, which is typically what I do when I watch. I don't even know what it's about.
Well, I mean, just watch it. It's about different farming techniques and how, because when you till the land, so plants, they suck in CO2, goes into the roots, goes into the soil. When you till the land and you aerate the soil, all that comes out. And so there's like ways to till with less disruption of that. There's, instead of just having a huge field of only corn, you have mixed crop, and you always have a harvest every single month of the year. And then all these different crops, benefit from the dying crop. And it's like it is in nature. And then your like cattle and stuff like that, you don't keep them in cages. You let them graze acreages, and then you close that acreage off until the next year. And so they circle around, and then, when they poop or scat or whatever you want to call it, like, that's going to help fertilize.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like this whole concept of growing differently, treating animals differently, and thinking about it differently.
Just looking at it probably from a different perspective. I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff in there, and innovation is always going to be a part of industry, and farming, I'm sure, of course, not an area I'm real strong in. But I think the thing with me is when it comes to the climate change, and I've said this a lot, and your brother and I have had a lot of conversations about this, I think there's a lot of great ideas of what we can do to slow some things down. We've already seen the carbon footprint. That's science. I think I look at it more as that's just kind of a casualty of the life that we've lived. And people
didn't know for the longest time.
People didn't know for the longest time, and it's going to be difficult to get enough people on board. I think enough, nations and farmers and different ways of going through life. Getting rid of fossil fuels and all these things that are needed to slow down or even reverse that carbon footprint, to do it effectively enough to make a difference. I feel like it may be FUBAR. I don't know. And then there's the argument, well, we have to try.
But I agree with that. And yeah, we still have to try. The people that do believe in it have to try, because otherwise it's just going to run rampant. But I agree with that. No one is ever going to be 100% all in. Like, the populace will never 100% agree on stuff. Unless I won't go there. But but yeah, that's the difficult part. So how do you overcome that challenge? And I kind of agree with what the president-elect was saying too. Like, eventually, oil is a natural resource. It's going to run out eventually, probably not in our lifetimes, but eventually, within the next century or two, it's going to disappear. Like, so humanity, to be prepared, has to find other sources of energy.
Yeah, and I think you're seeing that innovation develop. It's really starting to come together. Elon Musk and what he's done with his innovations. I mean, Tesla, which, shout out to Tesla, they just joined the S&P 500. Huge move in the stock market. We saw a quadruple witching sell-off Friday for the Monday open for Tesla's debut into that. Not to get into stocks, won't get off point there, but Tesla, the leading electric car manufacturer. I mean, that's where it's going. I mean, if we're gonna make transportation effective, obviously these lithium, I believe it's lithium batteries is what's powering these electric cars.
Yeah.
And they're holding charges, and that will continue to innovate. I think the problem with the electric car industry that we're going to see for the next 10 to 15 years is the availability of charging stations throughout the country.
Yeah, because that's a whole infrastructure that's not there right now.
Huge business, though.
It is, and that's one thing that makes it difficult to build this new future. Is we're building it on an outdated infrastructure. So, and people are using it all. And so it's like you have to go in there and basically scrap it and scrape it while still allowing people to go through their day-to-day lives, and then implement a new way. it's so hard. Like you almost just need to start building new cities that are built differently, or because like how do you go through and change things to where I saw this whole video on this stuff, man, where it's like, yeah, we have all these ideas and sure we can do it, but we're building it and there's all this old stuff. You know, I think there's still some wood plumbing in Los Angeles that is like 75 years old that is like finally giving out, you know, and they're like pulling out these it was like hollowed out trees that they were using for plumbing, and it's just failing now. So it's like you got to really think about how complex it all is, and how do you actually build that future city when you're building on top of something that doesn't have the right infrastructure.
Well, and then we look at the possibility too, which I think we're going to see more of this in our lifetime, is the casualties of the technology that we've now introduced, right? So as we move to different sources, what is that long-term effect going to look like? What is Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and cellular doing to the body? Is it promoting cancer?
Well, remember when Clint was on, he had me dial in that number and it told me the amount of radiation my phone was giving off?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we still don't know what the effects of, as we move away, we think this is a better idea. But what is that going to now do in due time to the general public? What is that going to affect and omit into our lifestyle?
True. I mean, dude, humans come from the earth and nomadic lives, and we've evolved. I believe in that, and we will evolve with what we're doing now too. Like it's going to change. It's going to be different. I just don't know how. And, like the long-term effects of social media and that false satisfaction that people think it's like false dopamine. Like you get it, but it's not actually making you feel full. Like
it still isn't that. It's that goes back to that addiction thing. People get addicted to a notification popping up on their phone or how many likes they get. It's a dopamine release. And anytime the brain releases dopamine, you're going to get addicted to whatever that is. You're not going to. You have the possibility of it, right? I learned that watching Intervention, really trying to understand addiction and alcoholism and how the brain is satisfied with whatever you're addicted to. And it doesn't always have to be, it could be inanimate things like social media or different, online shopping, DoorDash. All that stuff gives you dopamine, right? Food. Mm-hmm. There's different types of addictions out there. And the social media one is very real. We saw that in the Social Dilemma, and we've seen how competitive a market that is now. Yeah. Competing for our time. And I think it's going to have, we've said it how many times on the show, it's not going to have good long-term effects.
I scroll Reddit here and there, but a lot of times like I'll get a little deep and like, I'll scroll for like 5 pages or something. And sure, I'll see some great dog stuff. Like I'm going to show you this one that I fell in love with it after we get off the show. It's so hilarious. And it has a great custom song, and they did a great job on the song. So there's some good stuff out there that does help you. Yeah, but for the most part, man, I'm scrolling on that. I'm just like, dude, this is pointless. Like
it is.
This has literally zero value to self betterment.
Right.
Like how if I'm spending my time just doing that, how is that going to better me? And I'll game hard. I play games hard. Like I've been playing Cyberpunk hard, but the fact of the matter is like that's like a getaway for me. So everybody needs their own getaway. That's like my getaway. So 2 or 3 hours on that helps me kind of reset and come back to reality stronger.
Well, and again, it goes back to the anything in moderation thing, regardless of the substance or whatever it is. Whether it's I'm going to limit my social media time, my video game time, my alcohol intake, my food intake. Anything in moderation, I think, can be balanced. But look, 2020's been a tough year. Studies are saying, they think that the winter period, from now into the spring, we're going to see the highest rate of alcoholism and drug use we've ever seen. I guess, and that would probably be a test because now, even though there wasn't anything to do last summer, now we're in the cold months. People are locked indoors. So that's even more of a reason to get blasted.
So are we like vigilantes because we're coming out and doing this pod weekly?
I don't know if I would consider it vigilantes. I mean, if it was a strict shelter-at-home order, we obviously respected that when Denver had the stay-at-home order. We didn't do the podcast, and it's a safer-at-home order, right? We obviously know that, so we're doing our part to be as safe as we can here. But I don't think we're being vigilantes, no.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, man. I get cabin fever when I sit inside the house and just chill, it really, it gets you anxious, man. You start looking at the walls and getting annoyed at them and stuff, you know, like.
I wouldn't do well.
So people in those scenarios, like, what do you think would be great advice for them to, like, go on a walk?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's snowy out, who cares? Put on some boots and just go walk it, man.
I've noticed that people that do take the walk, like maybe when they don't want to, because for me personally, obviously, everyone knows I work out in the public still. I'm in the grocery biz, so I am moving.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily speak from experience of what would work for me, because I know I would be in a troubled situation.
Yeah, what would
home.
you do if, like, you were stuck?
I would definitely have to get out of the house, which, you know, I have to be on the move. I like my Sundays to just be on the couch and watch movies, but you take a walk, you know, take a run if that's what you like to do. Even just get in your car and take a drive. Yeah. You know, that's not something you've done a whole lot this year because you've been working from home. You know, just go take a drive and look at the beautiful scenery.
When it's good for your car too. You don't want that thing to just sit there so long.
Yeah,
you got to make sure that the oil's ripping through that engine.
Take a drive, man. Take it back to the old days. When I first got my license when I was 16, I would just drive. I would just get in it and go drive to nowhere.
Yeah, go listen to some
music. I miss that.
Maybe, I mean, you can social distance outdoors. Like, you know, go find a place where you can, you know, go on to woa.mmt.com and ask them the question. Where are some good places where I could just go outside and see the world? And who knows, even if you're in another state, maybe there's somebody that's on that website, even though it's Colorado based, maybe there's somebody on there that would know of a spot in your state still. Like,
oh, I'm sure.
Like, so just try to utilize something, man, because it's like a prison cell when you're in your house all the time. Like, you're gonna get cabin fever. So you have to do something that's going to benefit yourself through this.
Well, and it's made it too easy too this year because of the stay-at-home orders and the fact that you can't go to concerts, you can't sit down at restaurants. It's given people even more of an excuse to, you know how we all mentally excuse ourselves. I do it all the time. Oh, it's this. I'm going to get drunk for that reason, right? COVID times, it's like, whoa, I can't go anywhere, so I'm just going to stay in and be a lazy, you know, not be productive today because of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's easy to do. It's a readily available excuse now, you know. Everyone's morale is down. You know, I shouldn't be around people. And it's going to be very interesting to see how we, as a society, come out of this and are reintroduced to social gatherings again, and if people choose to continue to isolate, or is it going to be a rush to the events again?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both, honestly. You're not going to get an across-the-board response to this thing. It's I give it another 2022 will be when things probably start to come back around, because you have to think, like, about the whole pendulum. Like, we spent a whole year in this.
Just like, about, yeah.
Maybe it'll take 7 to 8 months to get out. And are we even coming out yet? You know, they're just doing the vaccine, but are we coming out of it yet? I would say no. We're still in this. So the weight hasn't.
We're certainly not coming out. And I'll interpret the coming out part as like, you still can't go see live concerts.
Yeah.
There is some cities doing stand-up comedy, but still very socially distanced. Denver's not one of them. So that aspect, when I look at if we're coming out, because to me, when we're out of it, it means you can go back to doing whatever you want again. Mm-hmm. And I do agree with you. I think that's at least another year out.
Yeah. So maybe 2022, you know, summer 2022, maybe that's when we can kind of get back to how things were, but it'll be different, you know, because I think a lot of companies are going to still respect this work from home stuff, because a lot of companies have done great with it. And, you know, the commercial real estate is going to suffer, and that there's going to be ripples from that. And so there's so many layers to what's going to happen, what's going to come, how companies are going to operate differently, how people will, you know, petrol is being used a lot less this year. Like, dude, one gas tank will last me like almost 2 weeks, and I get 15 miles to a gallon, you know? So it's like things are going to be different coming out of it. I feel like we will be a stronger and better humanity because of all this. You know, and for that, I'm thankful for the challenge of this year. You know, I just want to say that, like, I'm thankful for all the challenges I had this year. And you know, everybody, we gotta take time to pat ourselves on the back occasionally, because humans are so quick to just move on to the next goal. What's the next goal? What's the next goal? And we never really give ourselves credit. So I'm going to pat myself on the back. I want to pat Kevin on the back too. You know, you've been a great co-host this year, man.
Oh, right back at you, man.
And you get, and I feel like both of us individually have accomplished a lot, and together, man. And I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for all of you, all of you out there.
Great community, great opportunities, man. You know I love you. And we did have a word of the week.
Oh,
and it comes from Kevin Batstone.
Oh, bingo.
Yeah, right out of Parker, Colorado. And the word of the week is merry. I'm going to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And that's really what it comes down to. You know, being merry, spreading some joy, enjoying yourselves. You know, you guys deserve it. It's been a tough year. And, you know, let's be safe this holiday season. You know, there you can still do your family holiday gatherings and be safe with it. But that's the word of the week, man. Is merry.
I love it, man, because it's very fitting. You know, let's make that mentality happen. Let's be good to ourselves like that. And, you know, believe and achieve, everybody. Believe and achieve your goals. What we talked about this episode, you know, I got on my soapbox, but it's real, you know, and I want you to be real to yourselves and be true to yourselves. So believe and achieve that. Next week we have Avi, sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Avi. And so we're really excited to have you in the studio talking with us. That's going to close us out for 2020.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man. We're, you know, kind of backstack this up a little bit, so we're going to take a few days off more than we normally would, but we're still on schedule. Nothing will look different on your end. And, yeah, we're going to close the year out with Avi, John of All Trades. Go over there, check him out. He does great things. We just did his show, which should be dropping the same day as this. So some good content out there, man, and just feel very fortunate to be a part of your lives, and thank you for being a part of ours. And just want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. You guys are the best in the business, no question. Let it rip, tater chip, man.
Celebrate yourselves. Celebrate each other. Rough year. Serve it.
We'll see you next week, guys. Much love. Spread that merry joy. Now that's job.
That is job.